Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing the first participant.
Won't you stay me over till another year?
From Eclair, Wisconsin, weighing in at 265 pounds, he is a former two-time WCE All-Around Champion, a former two-time WCE Interstate Openweight Champion, and he is the measuring stick of WCE. He is the unhinged. He is James Marshall.
None can excel. I open the door to heaven and
And introducing his opponent.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our next match. And as you can see, it's going to be a good one today. We got the Sinister and James Marshall, one-on-one. This feud has heated up quite a bit over the last few months. James looking to secure his first victory over the Sinister. And here we go. We'll begin some... Seeing who can get the upper hand with these submission holds here. Getting them in a hammerlock here.
Got him in a great hammerlock, a good hammerlock. Sinister coming out trying to both teams out there, and now you got James Marshall with the advantage here. Got him in a good headlock.
Yep.
You know.
And the transition
And
into a headlock takeover. Beautiful.
Beautiful headlock takeover. You know what I'm saying? But
The form is unmatchable.
that is what I have to say. One thing: these guys have been going at it since the beginning of WCE, and that is correct. James Marshall has not conquered Craven, aka Sinister, his entire career.
That's right. He's been winless. And multiple. Like, he's got to get the win here. And after losing the All-Out title to the Sinister, what else is there to prove?
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot to prove
Counter
tonight.
big clothesline, and now James Marshall another clothesline.
James is the measuring stick. And he's got to stay true to his word here. And a win against Sinister Knight,
Well,
that would be huge.
That would definitely be huge because that would show the world that he is the true measuring stick. And that's one thing that bothers Mr. Marshall, because you got the Sinister that has been a thorn in WCE side since this season has started.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This has been one for the ages. Oh.
They going for a suplex, Sinister counter.
Sinister blocking the suplex here. Looks like Sinister's going to get him with one of his own. Nope, DDT.
Came out of with a DDT. Back now, he's back on the top of James Marshall, and here come with those Gavin stomps.
Yeah, he's stomping and picking apart his body.
Yeah, because Sinister is just, I said, I think this is more personal than anything. Both men are former champions. Both men really don't have nothing to prove here. Just who is the measuring stick? That is the mystery question.
That pretty much is what it is. It's the battle of the measuring sticks. You go to WC to measure up and see who you can face. These are two of the first men you can think of, alongside Sean Jovi. But who's the real measuring stick here? They say it's James Marshall, but maybe tonight it could be Sinister after all.
That is true, and that is what everybody's been wanting to question for. And James Marshall went for a clothesline, a chop and miss, and now Sinister on top here, ladies and gentlemen. Both men going back and forth. Here, Irish whip in the corner, and here comes Sinister with a good splash. James Marshall, he dropped down. He dropped down at Sinister.
And,
We thought we were going for his famous hip attack, but no, it was a different move.
A new form of athleticism we just saw there out of the Sinister.
Yeah, because, like I said, Sinister, he might still be all evil, but like I said, he has changed around. Sliding elbow, clothesline, good, different arsenal, different approach, different attack forms.
And like you said, Sinister, he is evil, he is scary. But the thing is, he's been showing mercy lately, it seems.
Yeah.
It seems like some light is starting to show through him. And that's something we have yet to see from that man since WCE began.
Maybe he's starting to change. Maybe he is starting to change, because there has been a lot of talks that Sinister has been humble and he's changing his ways. Maybe.
Right, you never know. I mean, every
never.
man deserves a second chance, they say. Maybe Craven is working his way to getting a second chance in his career here.
And we got the Sinister,
and as we know, well, here we go. Sinister. Looks like he's gonna sinisterly take him apart here.
Yeah, because now
James is down.
James
he needs a breather, it looks like.
He needs a breather, but the Sinister's not letting up, and here we go.
There's no escaping the Sinister.
No, it's not. And James Marshall, smart move with James Marshall, right to the eyes, you know what I'm saying, just to get away from the Sinister, because everybody knows the Sinister is evil. Watch this again. Watch this sliding.
Yeah, that Dragon's Gate running clothesline.
That was a good move. And now James Marshall entering the ring after recuperating and back on the
flippy spinny senton.
which is perfect. That is a perfect view from center.
And here we go.
Go for the cover. 1, 2, and no, you know.
No, yeah, James looks like he's in shock. Look at that spinny, twisty senton thingy. That looked really good.
That was very good.
He got all of it in, too.
James Marshall choking the Sinister. You know, because like I said, James Marshall has not beaten Sinister, AKA Rays, at no time. Dropping that big flying headbutt. You know, now another one attacking the Sinister's leg here. Targeted Sinister's leg. You know, smart veteran move out of this. You know, got him in an abdominal stretch here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, working that knee. That could tear a ligament, anything, you know. That could tear a ligament. Sinister is in pain, trying to struggle to get to the ropes, ladies and gentlemen. And can he get to the ropes? And he got to the ropes, and now James will have to break the hold, but he got to 5, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to 5.
And he took it all the way to 4.
Yep. And Sinister is in pain. You know.
He's rising in pain.
From that, you know.
And James, he should be staying on him. He should not be giving Sister any breathing room whatsoever.
Yeah, you cannot give this man no type of breathing room, because you take one and Sinister and you take the eye off the ball. That is how you come up short against this man. You have to take the fight to him and keep it going.
Right, we've seen that multiple times over the course of his career. And it looks like it's going to be time for a Marshall Bomb.
Marshall Bomb, he got all of that.
2, and no.
He got all of it, but he probably...
He did get all of it, but it wasn't enough
watch it again,
to keep Craven down. Oh.
That was a beautiful Marshall Bomb, but that was not enough to keep him down. And now Marshall back on top, attack on that leg that he was working on. And now, you know, Sinister is good right now that we're kicking, you know, got
Bunch of kicks.
Kick it to the head, because Sinister has been targeting Mr. Marshall's head a lot, you know, but he's in pain. He is in pain, ladies and gentlemen.
He's in a lot of pain. He can barely walk.
He can barely stay on his feet. Yep. He is in pain. James Marshall has injured Sinister, and that is a good thing for James Marshall, because without your legs,
You can't walk, you can't fight.
That is correct. You can't.
One of the first rules of Cobra Kai, they would say, in the karate world. Anyway.
Back to the action here, ladies and gentlemen. Sinister Punisher on James Marshall. Got him in a chokehold. Got him in a sleeper hole. You know.
The sleeper hold puts many men away. They put him to sleep, so they say.
And you got James Marshall struggling trying to get him.
Oh, looks like we got him in, is that like a cookie clutch? Some kind of sleeper of sorts.
Yes, that is, you know, got him in.
Almost like it's a submission no matter what way you put it.
You got him in a good submission hole here.
Yep. James could pass out here, which would be the end of the match.
Yep.
It'd be a real shame if that happened.
James needs to try to fight to get to the rope here, and he does.
And he gets his leg on the rope. Time to break the hold, but he again has till 5.
Yes.
And he's going to utilize all of that 5 count as close as he can without getting disqualified.
How much damage that has did to either both men, because you know Sinister is still hurting from, as you can see, he is still hurting from that injury from James Marshall working the leg, and now Sinister getting fired up from the charge after. You know,
he's measuring up for some. Oh, the leg gave out.
The leg gave out, ladies and gentlemen, and
that's a game changer right there.
Big game changer. Whoever Sinister was
the whole pace of this match just flipped.
You know,
and James notices it. Oh,
big enziguri to the back of Sinister.
Back of the head. Yeah, that was some.
Down. Both men down, James Marshall down, Sinister down, ladies and gentlemen. They've been going back and forth here, taking a fight to each other, and James is so close to finally getting the win. And big DDT out of James Marshall, Sinister down, still in pain. James Marshall up, you know. going up for that springboard again.
There we go. Oh, a splash.
Springboard splash.
Two.
And Sinister got his foot on a rope. Mr. Marshall was not.
He was
so
not
close, but he
able to get there.
He was so close to finally getting that victory, but not being the veteran he is, being smart to get him away from the rope so he can. Sinister's in pain. Marshall he's got him where he wants him. He needs to stay on Sinister. Sinister favoring that knee. You know, he needs to stay on him. And both of them throwing strike exchange.
Yeah, and now it's a strike exchange, folks. Who's going to get the upper hand here? Because this is a crucial point in the match.
Yep.
Oh, nice lariat. Taking the man down. One, a two, and a kick out.
And look at James Marshall cannot believe it because he has hit Sinister with everything he has got. You know, and he's
that lariat. He got all of it. He almost took him out completely.
You know,
like ran him over.
And now you got James Marshall.
Well, and it looks like they're backing up. Something's gonna happen here.
James Marshall is.
He's taking him to the corner. Refs should get him off the ropes here.
Yeah,
He's being very lenient in this
the
match. That was technically like 3 rope breaks right there. Oh, it looks like Sinister making his comeback.
Making a comeback, you know. His legs been worked on a lot.
There it comes. Oh,
that
was a well-executed Enziguri. He got all of it.
He landed on that knee that Mr. Marshall has been targeting.
Not just that, an Enziguri is a move where you use your legs, and like you said, if a man can't walk, a man can't fight. He fought, but what cost to his legs?
Yeah, he's putting a lot on. He is definitely going all out. Like these guys are former all-out champions, and they are showing the world why they are former.
Yeah, all-out champion means they go all out. These two are former champions in their own right.
And that is correct, And now Sinister going for look like he's setting up for a good Sinister kick. To kick Mr. Marshall straight to back to Hill. And
Sinister dark music.
And he got all of it, He got all of it. And now Sinister, fighting through the pain, fighting through everything he has been through with Mr. Marshall,
Here we go. Sinister going up to the top high rent district.
Yeah,
Marshall's down.
Marshall's down.
I don't think this is looking good for Marshall if he makes this splash. Oh, elbow drop. I was wrong. It was a huge flying elbow drop of doom there.
Flying elbow from Sinister.
Straight from the heavens, man.
Yeah.
2, and a kick out.
And that is one thing about the Sinister. Like I said, he has changed look like he has changed the way he's going. Let's look at
His style has changed
flying.
a little bit over the last few months. It's just been slowly been, I don't know what to say, more clean fighting, clean fought.
Well, it's more of he might have seen the light, or who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe you never know what a sinister man.
What is going? We don't know what's going on in this.
We never know. We'll never know. And that's a discussion for another day. Marshall. Oh, hitting him up with a suplex. Ooh. That was pretty close to a brain buster, even.
There.
Yeah, hit him with the brain buster.
Sinister
But it wasn't enough.
kick out at 2.9, and Mr. Marshall cannot believe it. Oh,
That's what happens when you drop him on your head, but not well enough to get the pin.
watch this brain buster again.
Yeah, that brain buster got him right towards the head area.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the brain buster, because it busts your brains.
And you got both men up, been battling back and forth,
Yeah,
and now they're going to fight.
They're exchanging strikes.
You know, they just want to beat the living hell out of each other here. Good chop to the right to the poke to the eye from the Sinister. Like I said, Sinister, he probably has changed his ways, but he knows he has to do whatever to church.
Oh.
And now the ref is not taking it lightly. These refs is not backing down, ladies and gentlemen, from the Sinister, from nobody. You know, and now Sinister's up, and Marshall's blinded because he got poked in the eye from the Sinister and setting him up. Sinister punch.
That was a Sinister punch indeed.
You know, shades of the fist of rage, whatever you want to call it.
It's a fist, and it goes to their face. It's effective nonetheless.
And is he setting Marshall up, ladies and gentlemen? You know, I think he is. He's setting them up for the message.
Here it comes. What's he call this move?
Message.
It looks like. Oh, there it is.
You know.
There it is. The dropping forearm. That's it.
I know.
No, it's not.
No. Marshall still have fight left in him, ladies and gentlemen.
As the people say, there's a will, there's a way. And there might be a way for James to get out of this.
Yes, James is trying to prove to the world that he is the measuring stick of WCE, and he needs to get over that hump and finally beat the Sinister once and for all. You know what I'm saying? And
That's right. And
if he can beat the Sinister, maybe everything else can come to the end.
that's right. James has had a very roller coaster year so far,
Got him up.
dealing with the likes of Sinister and Mr. Brightside.
That is correct.
Oh, he's got him in. He's got him in the fatality, or else it was the brutality. I don't remember which form of the walls it is.
He got him in a submission move, because he's been working on that.
Got him in a roll up.
And counter from James, and now James got him down.
There you
But
go.
he's still got to work on biting the knee. You know what I'm saying? James.
And after using those legs and dissecting them apart, this is gotta be excruciating on Sinister.
Yes, it is. You know, and now Sinister shoulders down. Ref's got to count here. And Sinister kicked out. You know, he's trying to get to the rope, and can he get to the rope?
The rope is so close, but he can't quite get there. He's just inches away, literally inches away.
He's gonna inch away. If he's smart, he can grab the rope because he's right there to grab the rope.
He's just gotta reach. He's not. He's in fingertips reach. He's almost there.
Yeah, he's almost there, ladies and
He's
gentlemen.
literally almost there.
You know, can he get there? And James Marshall smart by James Marshall.
No. He's got to have him here, but he's so close to the ropes, he just can't give up now.
Yeah. You know, James Marshall pounding on the knee that he's been working on, and he finally got to the rope. Ladies and gentlemen, get it. He got it smart. You know, James Marshall pulling him smart by James Marshall pulling him in the middle of the ring, ladies and gentlemen.
There you
making
go.
sure he cannot get to the rope. Now, Sinister needs to try, and Sinister somehow, he raked the eyes to get out of that. But how much damage to that leg that he has done, ladies and gentlemen? How much damage has he done?
A lot of damage.
You know,
We've seen throughout this match, the leg has been the primary target.
yes. He's been working on that leg this whole match, and now Sinister is in a lot of pain. I don't know how much more he can keep going. And I don't know how much more Mr. Marshall can keep going, just because now Marshall been put through a lot of hell and punishment.
That's also true. And you gotta think about it. James Marshall has had some of the longest matches in WC history. He is literally an Iron Man in our federation. He's the Iron Man, the measuring stick.
That is true.
He's the one who's built to last.
And Sinister going for it, and
the knee gave out again.
He was going for his famous hip attack, but that leg.
That hip attack wasn't going to be seen.
But it did not happen due to the injuries to his knee, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, his knee's about shot here.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's showing more and more as this match progresses.
He's setting him up.
Up here comes the acid bath.
Yes, he is going for his famous acid bath.
Acid bath driver, there it
He
is.
got it in, all of it. This is it. This can
There it
James Marshall
is.
finally seize the moment and grab his rightful spot as the measuring stick.
2, and it's not over.
2.9. You know,
James took a little long to get the pin in. He didn't quite get the entire pin in.
yeah.
Had he have hooked the leg a little better, had he have covered him completely, I think he might have had it.
He
With
shoulda
that
had
little bit of slack, just got him enough to kick out.
He should have had it. You know, Marshall cannot believe it. You know, Marshall, and now he's going for it. He went for that back pitch that he normally does, and now
Oh, and here it is.
ripcord rock bottom. Sinister.
Ripcord to the bottom,
You know what I'm saying?
and it's all over now. Yep,
Yep.
there it is, folks. The Sinister still ahead on victories on James Marshall.
And that is going to bother Mr. Marshall once again because he came close, but fell short again to the Sinister.
That's right.
You know,
What a brutal contest, though,
what it's going to
DJ.
have to take for Marshall to finally get over this.
Yeah, this is a hump Marshall is still struggling to get over. And if the season approaching its end, what's next for Marshall?
Don't know. What even next for Sinister? We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have Fighter Fight coming up, the season finale for the WCE. But we also have another show right after Fighter Fight where it's going to be a big show called Devil's Plate, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. And as you can see, Sister with the win tonight. What a match. What a war.
That is a war. Sinister is a pain and suffering just from that brutal match. I don't know how much more. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, how much more has gone through Sinister lives. We have seen multiple changes from him, and he's constantly.
And there's that Sinister mask. But there's one thing we know for sure, folks. Fighter Fright is the next show, and we'll be back for more action